Welcome to the Albus Podcast, Working Man's DIY Brodown. We're back for another week of the Artist Spotlight. My name is Aaron.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Eddie.
And this week, it's my turn to pick again, motherfuckers. And guess what? It's time to talk about the Melvins.
And we're about to go.
That's goddamn right. We're about to ham it up. So, before we get into that, please like, subscribe, leave comments. We have enjoyed interacting with each and every one of you. These Artist Spotlights are a lot of fun. We get to learn a little bit about things we don't know. Like last week when we talked Black Flag. I didn't know shit about it, but I have since been listening to some Black Flag, and boy, they're better than I ever would have given them credit for. So,
Told you.
You did.
Dude.
So, please join along, have a good time with us. How's everyone been the last week? Alex, let's go ahead and throw it out there. College fucking graduate, folks.
Yeah.
Yes.
That guy.
It was incredible. It was lit AF, fam.
Do you want to give the
Lit-
backstory, the 3 days prior to commencement? I'd like you to run it.
Oh, no, I don't really have to go into that. It's just, it was 10 years removed.
He was a nervous wreck.
Yeah. Just because, it was my first time, attempting to finish my bachelor's there after, almost 10 years, so...
I did the math for him. I told him, look, you're good, dude.
I ended up with an A and 2 Bs.
You fucking jagaloon.
Yeah.
If you'd have seen him on
Way better than I thought.
Thursday,
Whoa.
if you'd have seen him on Thursday, you'd have thought it was like, maybe I'll eke out a grade well enough to get me across the finish line. You twat. A and 2 Bs. You believe this? I mean, the A I knew that, but the 2 Bs, come on with that noise.
But yeah.
Well, congratulations again from your bros in Albus. We're very proud of you.
Yeah, bro. We've got
Thank you.
We've got some presents here for you. We've got some pizza Pringles and some Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey.
Yeah.
Courtesy of Albus.
Oh, come on.
There it is.
No.
There it is.
Brr, brr, brr.
No way. Are you being for real? Come on, dude.
Yeah.
God bless you guys.
You know, bad shit happens when you party naked. Even worse shit happens when you graduate college. Words to live by. Eddie, what have you been up to, my dude? You got out and about, got to see some musica.
What did I do? Oh, yeah. I did a bunch of yard work, trimmed my bush.
Oh.
Very
and,
important. Very important.
Put a bunch of mulch down. And then I went and saw Alice in Chains cover band and a Korn cover band at the Forge. And that was pretty cool. It's pretty weird. Weird to go out and be around people.
What was the attendance like at that?
It was pretty full.
Like tolerable, though?
Yeah, tolerable
Okay.
full.
Cool.
There's a lot of people, but you can maneuver and stand wherever you want.
Cool.
So
That's
yeah.
fucking good to hear.
It was cool. And then I went after that to Bobby's and I got my pizza and popcorn.
Of course.
I did see the picture
and
of the pizza.
And a free drink token because somebody bought rounds and I was like, I don't want any more beer. And they were like, oh, take this token for next time. I'm like, okay.
I'm not going to take
I'll
the
be
free
back.
token. Yeah, drink tokens, man. What is the world?
And then I tried to get White Castle and it was fucking closed. It was like,
Wait, it's 24 hours.
yeah, nobody was at White Castle. That's what was written on the paper. It was like, hey, we're closed. I'm like, shit. Well, it looks like Walgreens Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It is.
There was a fucking sign on the window that said, come on, Pookie, let's burn this motherfucker down. That's a Harold and Kumar go to White Castle reference.
I'm not familiar with those terms.
Oh, well, you should be. Great movie. First one, anyhow. Excellent movie.
I thought the second one was pretty good.
Second one was
Wasn't it?
good.
Was
I
it
never
like
saw
Guantanamo Bay,
No,
or-
that was third, wasn't it?
Jesus Christ, how many of these fucking
Was there a
movies are
third?
there?
I thought there was just two.
Shit, maybe there's only two.
I thought there was only two.
Maybe I've
Yeah.
only seen one then.
Two's Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah,
Your facts check out.
they do.
Cross-referenced you with the Google on
He's
the
pretty
interwebs.
smart. He's pretty smart. This college guy
This
over
guy.
here.
Hey,
You give him a cap
hey,
and he
what?
tells you what's
A
up.
wise guy,
Was with the fancy drinks and
And your Pringles, huh?
flavored chips you got.
Hey, you
in
know
here.
what? Don't worry about it.
You know what?
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, get the stepping, buddy.
Whoa.
Huh? Too
Where are you-
much?
where are you
Too
from?
harsh? I don't know.
Where are you from?
I have no idea.
The wrong side of the
Hey,
tracks.
I'm from New Jersey. All right. Hey.
Oh, he's from Jersey
I'm staying
now.
here on the
Jersey.
corner.
I'm from Jersey
I'm from Jersey. I'm just here on the corner. You know, like
with my Tennessee honey and
Hey.
my pizza Pringles.
what the hell, dude?
Selling that ass.
Yeah, I don't sound like that though, man. I mean, like for real, like
Whoa.
Whoa.
Why do you sound like this now?
It was so fucking
that's what
great.
you're doing, man.
We can only talk like this for the rest of the podcast now.
Okay. Well,
No,
Aaron, do you want to get things
Aaron,
kicked off?
what did you
Hey.
do?
Oh, how dare you? How dare you, sir?
just-
I am appalled.
Why didn't you eat some of those goddamn chips?
All right, I'm going.
Aaron, what did you do?
Just remember, once you pop, you can't stop.
Oh, shit. That's right.
Here we go.
I was waiting on some supplies to show up that I had ordered. I had ordered some Megami cable so I can custom patch length my pedal board, and some right angle plugs and some straight plugs and a new soldering station. And all of it has now showed up as of yesterday. So I'm excited to custom fit my pedal board with all the stuff that we need. And then it'll be time to record the next EP and start booking shows, which is what it's all about. That's the best part of the world opening back up is Albus moving on out. I loves it. But this week we're here to talk about one of my favorite bands, Melvins. As you can see, it's apropos. We have
Wait a minute.
Stoner Witch over there.
Albus isn't your favorite band?
I said one of them. Albus is my favorite band.
Continue.
Come on, dude.
Yeah. One of Melvins. Now, thinking back to when they came across my radar, I was definitely one of those guys that didn't hear about them being the Q101.
How long ago?
1994.
Oh, you're-
Yeah. Houdini was the first record I had ever heard them on, which was the first of the major labels. So, I mean, I'd heard their name in passing, reading up on Kurt and Nirvana and stuff, but I'd never... They weren't on Q101. They weren't really on MTV.
I never heard of him until I was like, I don't know, 22 or something.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I heard them. When Houdini came out, I heard that record like right when it came out. So I knew who they were and what they were to Kurt and Nirvana. But as I've gotten older, they've become a band that I have damn near every record of theirs, and I've watched their documentary a dozen of times. Speaking of which, Colossus of Destiny, the Melvins documentary, is the best music documentary on the planet.
Have you watched all of them?
It's only one, but I've watched it 12 times.
I mean, have you watched all the documentaries?
In the world, yeah. Ever.
Okay, carry on.
Ever. Even the ones that weren't released.
Next question.
I snuck into houses and banks and vaults and such.
Okay,
But,
I believe you. I believe you.
I know you do. But the thing I think that's the coolest about the Melvins is that they have this knack for making badass songs and music and even art. Like they do custom artwork on some of the art, and that's like not released through any distributor. You have to buy that from them type deals. But I think it's cool that they've found a way to not be a commercially successful band, but still.
Well, they keep it. They also keep it fresh too, with all like the different lineup
Lineups.
changes or like versions of the band that they
Yeah.
do,
But
like
I
with
think
two
it's-
drummers.
I
And
think
shit.
Yeah,
fuck
big business. Yep.
Yeah, yep. A senile
I'm
animal.
not. Yeah, I'm not familiar with all of their shit because I don't like listening to too much. I don't like trying to listen to all the band. I got to try to get into like a couple albums first. So I've been listening to those two, the Houdini and Stoner Witch.
That's my favorite record.
Like I can still keep listening. Like this is enough Melvins for me.
They're so good.
Until I go to like the next Melvins.
Yep.
But
the
I'm still like absorbing the shit out of
The
those
thing
songs.
I
They're so
love,
awesome.
the thing I love about them is they have basically drawn up the handbook on how to be a sustainable band as a career without being a top 40 band. You know what I mean? They tour pretty religiously, but they've kind of taken their fate in their own hands where it's like there's no tomfoolery and advances and all this bullshit with super high up labels where you have to churn out single after single after single or you're dropped, and then you owe us a bunch of money. Like they're just
Oh my god! Imagine. Never mind.
they're just really good at writing fucking songs. Like even Buzz does. He's got 2 acoustic albums now,
Oh, really?
And the first one,
I've heard like some of their other stuff, but
first King
it's
Buzzo
not- it
record-
doesn't stick with me.
first King Buzzo record is rad. And it's interesting because I know some people, like some of the response and the critics said like, this sounds like a Melvins record, just acoustic. And it's like, well, yeah, Buzz is in the Melvins and he writes the songs. But did you think it was going to sound like, you know, A Night at the Opera? Like, the fuck? Like, but to me, they're just one of those bands where it's like, doesn't matter how long they're around, how old they are, they can do this as long as they want, and it's sustainable for them. And they've created a want, you know what I mean? Like I said, for people that are really into art, he's married to Mackie, and she's like a really, really famous artist. She's the one that created the Social Distortion skeleton.
Oh, really?
That's her, yeah. Like the famous skeleton with like the fucking martini. That's her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I've
she-
never listened to them.
Social D?
Yeah. I mean, not really.
They're all right.
A little bit.
But she's like an incredible artist, and they've done this perfect marriage of music that is awesome, that is totally them, with art. And I think the bigger thing with them is they've had such an impact on everyone else. I mean, they were, for all intents and purposes, they're your first stoner rock band. They're your first sludge band. I mean, if you look at,
Drone,
Yeah.
ambient.
I mean, all those styles. I mean, like on that documentary, you know, Matt Pike talks about like,
One of the first like alternative and grunge bands also.
Yep.
Like all they checked all the boxes.
They were-
It
they were-
influenced countless.
they
Yeah.
were going heavier and slower when everyone else was going faster and poppier. And they just reinvent that over and over again. Like, I know you're a big fan of when they pulled the Big Business move. And when
What is big business?
you want to answer that?
Well, I mean, their names are what it's
Is it like a duo?
Cody-
Is it
Cody
a duo or something?
and
Jared. Or is
Cody
it
and
Jared,
Jared.
I think, right? The
Does
bass
it somebody
player?
play like a upright bass or something?
No, that's
No.
that's Trevor Dunn.
Oh, okay.
right.
There's a band called Big Business.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, I mean, they collaborated with them on the album, and like,
Who do they play?
bass, and they had two drums.
Oh, okay.
So the record is
okay, that's
Senile
the two
Animal.
yeah, because
Okay.
big business is just bass and drums. So
And they're awesome. And it was like,
yeah,
Just like lightning bolt.
yeah, I mean, the interesting thing with Melvins is like, so they were up in shitty Washington, not Seattle proper, but, you know, up in that area. They knew Kurt, like Dale Crover.
Dale Crover's from Aberdeen, bro.
Yeah. Well, Buzz took Kurt to his first punk rock concert, and it's like they started the band Melvins, and they had Matt Lucan, who ended up being the bass player in Mudhoney. That was the original three: Crover, Lucan, and Buzz. And then
Well,
it
no, there was the one drummer before Dale, right?
Matt Lucan, or
Is he-
Matt Dillard.
Is it Dillard? No,
Dillard was
okay.
the original drummer. It was Dillard, Lucan, and Osborne. But then Dillard married his high school sweetheart, got a carpenter
Yeah.
union job type deal, and Dale got in the band. They had seen Dale play in like a Judas Priest cover band or something like that, and they were like, "This band sucks, but that drummer's badass." So they got Dale in the band. And then that's where the band kind of laid its roots, and they were in that whole Soundgarden, Mudhoney, that whole era.
Yeah.
Everyone in that area coming up, you know, Alice in Chains, everyone else, Mother Love Bone, all that type of stuff. And Buzz was like, "I'm getting the hell out of here. Like, I'm going to San Francisco." And Dale was like, "Oh, well, I'll go with you." You know, so Buzz went down first, and then Dale tracked some drums with Nirvana for Bleach on like the demo, some of
yeah,
which
yeah.
made the record.
Yeah.
And then they asked him
Yeah,
to
it says it on the one.
they asked him to join, and he was like, "Yo, I'm going to San Francisco. I'm a Melvin. You know, I'm going with Buzz." Well, the funny thing is Lucan was told that Dale and Buzz are moving to San Diego or San Francisco, and they're not playing music anymore. Well, that was a lie, because they got to San Fran, and not only were they still playing music, they kept the name Melvins, which that's hilarious. Melvin.
Was it
That
gym teacher
name-
or something like that?
It was their boss at like this like grocery store they worked at.
What am I thinking of? Like fucking what's that Freebird band called? Leonard Skinner. That's the fucking gym teacher, isn't it?
Could be. I don't know enough about Skinnerd, but Pete Lohman was his real name, and his nickname was Melvin.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, they named their band like a fucking weird name that nobody else had, which was Melvin. after Pete Lohman, who was like
Melvins.
Melvins, yes, after Pete Lohman. So not only were they still a band, Lucan found out like they're still a band, they're still using the name, and I'm no longer the bass player because they got Lori Black, who is related to.
Well,
Shirley Temple.
he didn't want to move it though, did he?
Oh yeah, he did.
He wanted to move.
Oh yeah.
So why didn't he move?
They told him they weren't playing music anymore.
Oh, they told them. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't read. I don't remember reading that.
Yeah, you saw the
did-
documentary
they did-
with me, but it was many a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Did
you
him
were
dirty.
also driving at
In
the same
the
time while
documentary,
watching it,
it's
so I was
hilarious.
scared.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have been. I'm safe.
But I was also surprised at how accident-free everything was.
In the documentary, one of the funniest things is Lucan's like, apparently because I didn't have a pussy, I was no longer the bass player. And Buzz was dating Lori, so she became the bass player. So that's what happened is he moved to San Francisco. Dale came down shortly thereafter. Lori became the bass player. And now you have Melvins in San Francisco, in California instead of
So
Washington.
did she have a thing with Buzz
Yeah, she was.
beforehand before they moved?
No,
there, or-
I don't think so. If they
So
did,
why
I
would
don't
he tell
remember
them?
that.
Why would he tell them that they're moving and not playing music?
Because maybe originally the plan was not to. I don't know, but
Oh.
but when they got there, it was like, oh no, we're doing this. Yeah.
Oh.
So he might have even been dating Lori ahead of time. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was
I'd have to
wondering.
double check that. But
Like,
Lori,
no, we're not playing music.
yeah, something like that. But yeah, so they continued on, and when they were in San Francisco, they talk about how nobody wanted to book them, and even when they got booked, like everyone hated them, like nobody gave a fuck about them, and they went out and did like their first tour out of their own pocket type deal, and it was like the shows either
I
got
think I saw,
canceled
like-
or nobody showed up.
I think I saw a video where it was like Buzz looked really young, both of them, but there was a chick playing bass, so that was her. Like it was crazy. Like it must have been like the 90s or something.
Yeah, she did not. She did not.
Well, it must have been the 80s, right? Because
It was like
She didn't play-
late,
she
late
didn't play
80s.
on Houdini.
I was gonna say
Houdini
late
came out in, like,
would have
what,
had to have been
92 or
late
something?
80s. Yeah, you've got dates there. I think would have had to have been late 80s.
92, and then this is what, 94? This is 94.
Yeah, it's the second one, so that makes sense. Second major label. But what was interesting is, so they had her. I think, I don't know for sure, but I think she might have had some substance issues.
Yeah. She had like a trial or something like that.
Oh, I didn't know that. So, she was no longer in the band, but the band was doing better and getting shows and getting more known. So then
She did play with him again a little bit later.
yeah, she came back at one point. She couldn't do one of the tours because she was like sick, like drug sick. But then they ended up getting your boy, right? Joe Preston? He was next,
Preston.
which I know Zeke's a big fan of Preston. You want to talk about Joe a little bit? You know what bands he's been in and such?
Joe fucking Preston. In a lot of other, I would say, influential bands, especially Earth with Dylan Carlson, who was Kurt Cobain's best friend.
Yeah.
And then High on Fire with Matt Pike from Sleep. and that's like just the craziest thing about the Melvins, aka
No, bro.
they're no well, it depends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say there are ones with
Of their band?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Different version.
even in Apple, yeah, it's annoying.
Oh, wow.
Like Senile Animal comes up under the Melvins.
Oh.
But I mean, their influence is ridiculous. Even like the list that they have like here of like influencing Tool, Faith No More. One of my favorite bands that I've mentioned many times, Boris. Literally,
Yeah, they got the name from the first single off of Houdini.
right?
Aren't they
Or no, Bullhead, right?
Oh, Bullhead, you're right. Boris is non fucking
Aren't they on Mike Patton's label
Houdini.
or something like that?
Ipecac. Yeah, they are now. Yeah, which wasn't even
For a while.
it wasn't even supposed to be a label. It was supposed to be like a little spot to stash his like side projects. And then Buzz was like, asked their manager like, "What are you doing with this label?" And they're like, "Oh, it's not really a label. It's just where we're gonna stash Mike's side stuff." And he's like, "Oh, well, I got a record, and we just got dropped from our major label. If you want it." And their manager was like, "Holy shit! If we've got the Melvins, we're like a legit record label."
Well, I mean that's the
And
thing is like all
he's
like,
the one that named it Ipecac.
It-
Buzz is.
it's so cool the record labels they've been on too because like Amphetamine Reptile now defunct, but like that like featured like one of their main bands on that label was Cows.
Oh, the Cows. That's
The
one
Cows.
that was the bass player.
And they
Cows.
took Kevin Manis or whatever. Ratmanis, something
Yeah.
like that. He's got a crazy last name, but yeah. So like, what's interesting though is Lori has the drug problem. She's gone. They get Joe Preston. After a while, if I recall from the documentary, Preston realized because they did like those. Each one of them wrote their own EP, and then they just played on
yeah,
it.
Kiss
And
style
everyone
or
looked
whatever.
like Kiss, yeah. And Gene Simmons played a Kiss song with them live.
Yeah.
But Preston kind of realized, or at least this is what they say in the documentary, that he didn't want to, now that he knew like, oh, I can write songs, like he wanted to keep writing songs, so he was no longer going to be the bass player in Melvins. So then they need a new bass player again, which this would be, three have already gone through. They've gone through Lucan, Lori, and now Preston. And that's where they get
Why did the guy not play with them anymore? Because of the
Preston?
writing no, was it the Ratmanis?
oh, that's later. I'm not to him.
Oh,
yet.
okay.
Yeah. So then they get what's his name? Mark, the guy that wore the cowboy hat. Is his name Mark?
Oh, I thought it said
Here, hold on. We got
He's got the record there.
He's got the cowboy hat.
Yeah.
He's looking. Who can find it first?
Mike Dillard.
No, Dillard's the original drummer.
Oh, that's right. Matt Lucan. No.
Nope, original bass
Mark
player.
Dutron.
Yeah, Mark Dutron.
Mark
He's the guy
Dutron.
with the cowboy hat. And they were playing with him, and everything was going good. Band was getting bigger. They were on major label. And then they had got offered a tour to go on with Tool. And Buzz was just kind of like, I don't want to play with that guy anymore. And Dale was like, really? Okay, well, we should probably tell him.
Why do they want to play with him?
Yeah, I just didn't like him personally. Didn't get along with him.
Oh, wow.
So that dude was in town to either work on a solo record or play with somebody else, like studio track. I don't remember. But he called him up and was like, hey, guys, I'm in town. I thought maybe we'd get together and jam. And they were like, oh, we just accepted these Tool dates, and you're not in the band anymore. So then it was like, shit, they need a new bass player.
Wait, he was in town. What do you mean?
Like, he didn't live where the Melvins lived.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's
Where
I don't know, San Fran to L.A., San Fran to San Diego,
oh, wow.
something like that. You got shit all up and down California.
He was on those first two major.
I think he's on
albums,
both
right?
of those. Yeah. Hey, pull out Houdini real quick
Because
and see if he was on that record. It's right next
it's
to
right
you.
there.
You can pull the record out.
Because I saw like a live video of them playing on like
Does
a
it
talk
say
show
who
or
the
something.
bass player is? Because Hooch was the first single. That's what I was thinking of earlier.
And they seemed like they were really tight. Like
Oh,
that
yeah.
bass player was tight too.
They've been good with every bass player. My favorite bass player of theirs is actually
Bill Bartell. Oh, no,
was that?
Lorax. So, was it?
Mark.
No. His lady, Black.
She was on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
She played on that.
Yeah, she played on that, and then that's right. Bartell, I think, was the producer that ended up tracking some of the bass riffs because she couldn't physically
Oh, wow.
do some of it. And then after that's where they got Mark, and he did that record and was touring with him and everything. And like I said, they got offered the Tool stuff. They accepted that, kicked him out, needed a bass player. That's when they had played with the Cows. They knew the Cows. They liked the Cows. They went and asked Kevin, and Kevin was like, whoa, I've never played other people's songs. Like, I've only played my own songs. Like, are you sure there's a fit? And Buzz was like, dude, I like your bass playing. It'll work. So he joined the band. It totally worked. He just had to learn, like, the other songs that had already existed. Everything was great, grand, wonderful. But then that dude ran into, like, drug and alcohol problems.
Oh,
So Buzz, in the documentary, says, like, I had to kick him out, not because I wanted to, but because the guy would have ended up dead. Like, he was... Without being kicked out, he'd have been dead. And even like when they interviewed that guy in the documentary, he's like, I understand they didn't do it because of malicious intent. It's like I caused them a lot more harm than they needed.
yeah. How long did you play with them for?
Does it show how long Kevin played with them for?
Yeah. It does indeed.
I was like, there's the graph. Actually, break that down since that's got all bass players. Maybe give us a little run on when everyone was in from what year to what year.
Well, so in the beginning, obviously Buzz, Lucan,
And
Dillard.
Yep, that was the three.
And then after Dillard, it's all Crover
Yep.
on drums, like duh.
Yep.
But then Lori Black, a.k.a.
Shirley Temples.
Yes.
What was she in from?
Lorax was
Lorax,
like
her
is
name
her
Yeah. What
is her
was
nickname.
she in for? How long?
It was like 5 years, isn't it?
From like 88 to about like 91, and then she came back in like 93 for a bit. And then Joe Preston was like the bassist in between them.
Okay, so he
And
was
then- and
what,
then
like
Mark-
a 91 to 93 type deal with Preston.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then Mark Dutram from like 94 to 98, 99.
okay,
And
makes
then
sense.
and then you have Kevin Rootmanis from like 98, 99 until like 2005.
so he was in a while.
Yeah.
And then you have Jared Warren.
That's when they did the Big Business collab. So that was like not a full time
I know,
thing.
I know Shane McDonald's is 2015 to present.
Yeah, he's still in the band, and
And
right
the-
now sometimes they run 2 bass players now with him and Pincus.
Well, and in between that, you had Trevor Dunn.
Yeah, Trevor Dunn is Melvin's Light.
and Jeff Pincus.
And Pincus. So like after Rhett Manis, they basically, I think, if I understand it correctly, were like, okay, Buzz and Dale is the Melvins. And now from now on, whoever's on bass is like that permutation of Melvins. It's not necessarily like a you're in every project type deal. So they did the 2 bass player thing with the extra drummer, or the bass player and 2 drummer thing, which is where they had Jared and Cody. Then after that album, which was a Senile Animal, fucking unbelievable record. We listened to some of that on the way here. First 3 songs on that record are just outstanding. Then it was like, okay, we're going to do 51 shows in 51 days. So they're doing
I saw that.
all the states plus DC. But in order to do that, they needed to be more compact. So that's what Melvin's Light is, and that's with Trevor Dunn playing stand-up bass. So they did that, and that's still the Guinness record, 51 shows in 51 states and DC. Yeah. They had to plan it a year or a year and a half before they actually executed it. So that's Melvin's Light. Then Melvin's OG, they do that from time to time. Now that he's older, Dillard comes back and plays drums, and Crover moves from drums to bass.
Yeah.
So there's that permutation. And then
That's
there's
1983.
the original, Melvin's 1983, correct. And then there is the 2 bass player setup, which is which we saw live. That's Pincus and McDonald, both on bass, 2 bass, 1 drums.
Was that Pincus abortion technician?
It was the record Pincus abortion technician was 2 bass players. And we saw them live, and that was fucking outstanding. I mean, it was
It was cool.
fucking outstanding. Where was that show at?
Park West.
Is that where we were at? Mm-hmm. I was like, I can't remember if that was Thalia Hall or Park West or whatever.
Park West. By the Walgreens. Remember I got that shot of
I
you
do
vaping?
remember that. That is true.
Park West. I don't know if I've been there.
That was such a good show.
It's a cool spot.
We took my boy Frankie Monty to that, and that was unreal. Yeah.
Cool.
And then they have, I guess, what you would call the standard Melvins now. Then, like, is Dale and Buzz and one of McDonald or Pincus playing with them. But they've done tons of shit off of all of this. Like they did, there's a record called like "Hold It In" or "Hold It All In," "Keep It In," something like that. And that's with Paul from the Butthole Surfers in the band.
Oh, okay.
They did a record where they did
Is
all
that
the
Paul Leary?
Paul Leary, yep. They did a record where they did all the music and Jello Biafro did all the singing.
Oh yeah. You know, I did read that. I wanted to hear that.
Yeah, and they did another record that's really cool, totally different, where it's like a collaboration where, like, I don't know if it's like half a song between Melvins, like Melvins wrote parts of the song, and the this British, like, electronic guy, something Lord, M Lord or something like that. He either...
Yeah, I thought there was a synthesizer.
Yeah. I can't remember if like they would write a whole song and he would add on to it, then he would write a whole song and they would add on to it, or if it was like they would write, say, 2 minutes and then give it to him and he would finish it type deal. But that record came out. They've done so much cool shit. Like when Jello was going through the lawsuits and stuff with
Dead Kennedys.
Dead Kennedys.
He's like, what the hell is their goddamn name?
Yeah. I'm in my head, I'm going Dead Kennedys.
I know the answer to this.
Yeah, you do. You absolutely do. Dead Kennedys were out touring as Dead Kennedys, and they were like, fuck it, you can go out.
That was
as-"
like early 2000s, wasn't
Yeah,
it? I think
yeah.
I remember that.
And they were like, you should go out as Dead Kennedys. He's like, I don't have a fucking band. And they're like, we'll be your band. So they played and they had like black ski masks on and they were the Dead Kennedys band. With,
really?
With Jello doing all the vocals. Yeah.
Huh.
So, I mean, they're so fucking cool, dude. They're always they know what they sound like, what their vibe is, what their musicality is. You know what I mean? Like, you can't hear a Melvin song without knowing it's Melvins. But then there's cool little things that they do around
cool.
that.
Yeah, they keep it fucking fresh. Dude.
Exactly. It's like,
gotta keep it fresh.
it's like you can put on any fucking record and know that is the Melvins, but it's got a little thing that you can point out to being different than the last one.
Yep.
And I think that's why they've always, they've been one of my favorite bands since probably the late 90s. I mean, like I said, I picked them up at Houdini, but I mean, I probably started listening to them heavy in 98, 99.
I mean, how long ago did we go to Tennessee?
2017,
18?
I think.
17?
17?
So
17 or
definitely
18.
Been listening to them at least.
That long.
Probably before that. Definitely, I think before then. Or maybe around that time.
I was like, I know when I started showing them you is when you got like more into them.
Yeah,
but I think
'cause
you'd heard them before that.
Yeah, I heard Stoner Witch, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Because I've never known anybody that's listened to Melvins. I mean, I probably have, but
Yeah,
If
Queen,
you don't
Revolve. I mean, those are two of the best Melvin songs. Revolve might be my favorite Melvin song.
Velvet Revolver.
Not that, but yes. But
Maybe next pod.
But yeah, we could totally go into that. I'm sure somebody will bring up STP at some point because he was a singer in
yeah,
Velvet
STP.
Revolver, and STP is the shit. But I mean, I think if there's anything to be learned from Melvins, if you've never listened to them, first off, they don't sit on their thumbs. Like, they put out fucking records. They have tons of music out there, whether it's a permutation of Melvins or it's a collaboration with somebody else. They're always doing something. And when they're not doing something in a studio, they are on the road.
And it's not even like they're super like good player, or like they don't play like crazy
They're
fucking
not
shit.
crazy
They're just
technical,
playing like
no.
like really easy, not really easy, but like,
Really well written fucking songs.
yeah, well written, and like
They make it seem easy, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
but like a lot of times, like some of the like just guitar parts. I mean, like just
he's just got-
like crazy chords.
he's got
and
they're just so thick sounding too.
yeah, and I mean like and the drums too. I mean Dale. I mean,
Dale
shit.
Crover.
Watching some
one
of
of
the
my
live
favorite
videos,
drummers
it's
of all
just
time.
like Jesus Christ.
I think the thing that they do better than most bands is they are so in sync riff to drummer. Do you know what I mean? Like if,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
if the
they're
riff
tight.
is dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun, like the drums
Like
will
dun,
right
dun,
on
dun,
the
dun,
right on its tails.
but
Yeah.
the drums will go from like playing a beat like you're saying, then all of a sudden it'll be right with like dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Like they're like he knows the guitar parts.
Syncopation, baby, syncopation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Play
I mean
that-
they're
you have
just.
to play that after the pod while we're setting up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can tell that Melvins are Dale and Buzz and they're best friends and they're on the same fucking page. But like we said earlier, I just think they have such an innate ability to maintain their sound while still giving you a little bit something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is why Melvins were my pick this week for the Artist Spotlight. Anybody got anything to say in closing about Melvins? Other than they're fucking incredible.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to go back into something I mentioned earlier, like the record labels they were involved with. I mean, I mentioned Amphetamine Reptile, but then also like Man's Ruin, which put out like and supported so many of the most influential stoner rock bands, like that whole movement in like the 90s, especially like Cayuse and Queens of the Stone Age.
Two big bands for you.
Yeah. Huge. And then obviously you mentioned Ipecac with Mike Patton,
Yeah.
who I love from Faith No More, Phantomas, Tomahawk,
Yeah.
Mr. Bungle. The list goes on.
Shit, Melvins are Phantomas. They're the band with Patton.
No, yeah, I mean, like the associated acts here, like Altamont. I remember, like I have their album, which was like a combination of a bunch of dudes. Yeah, Crover.
He's got an awesome solo project, Crover does.
Did you play something?
Dan Southwick, Joey
'Cause I remember
Osborne.
listening to that, or maybe I thought I had a CD of it.
Could be.
But yeah, I mean, like,
I thought it was good.
but just all like the associated acts, like Phantomas, you know, obviously Mike Patton, Mudhoney, Thrones, Cows, Big Business, Carp, who I love, Kill All Redneck Pricks. Amazing band. I mean, they're up there and like,
Are they up by Boris with you? Or would you say Boris then Carp?
Carp is they're in a very special tier, like right beneath, you know, like my all-time faves,
Gotcha.
of which Boris would definitely be a part. But yeah, I mean, like Joe Biafra, like you mentioned, like Nirvana, like they were all best friends. Tool, Butthole Surfers.
I mean,
Like-
Joe fucking Barisi
Like, get out of here.
did Stoner Witch, and that's my favorite producer. Him and then Albini. But Barisi did Stoner Witch.
It's awesome.
And that record is out of this fucking world good. I would honestly tell anybody that hasn't listened to Melvins, a jumping off point would be Stoner Witch and Houdini, even though they're their main, mainstream, in quotes, big label, major label records. They are incredible records, and it's not like they all of a sudden polished up this sound and became this different band. Like, they're the same band throughout. So if you like those records, listen to anything and you'll like them. And if you really want to watch a documentary that is, no joke, better than any other documentary out there, watch Colossus of Destiny, the Melvins documentary, because I've seen it, no joke, 12 times. I'll probably watch it again tonight after the kids fall asleep.
I feel like you've watched it more than 12 times.
Yeah, possibly. I know.
I mean, 12 times this week.
Possibly. I mean, it's so good. And to be honest with you, that's what got me into like checking out, like, that's what made me watch the Mudhoney documentary. That's what made me watch the Tad documentary. Was the Melvins documentary was so fucking good. I was like, wow, I wonder if, like, I like Mudhoney. That documentary was excellent, but nothing.
And Tad.
And Tad. You love Tad. But I want you to do a Tad one because I don't know nearly enough about Tad.
I don't know a goddamn thing about Ted.
He does. So maybe
Tad
we'll have
O'Doyle.
maybe we'll end up with a Tad artist spotlight. That'd be cool.
Hey,
But
hey, if I may, really
yeah,
quick,
I was gonna say, if you
just
got
to rattle
anything
off
to
some
add,
more
let's do
shit.
it.
I mean, like, and then bands they influenced, obviously Nirvana, Soundgarden, Green River. I mentioned Tool, Faith No More earlier, Boris, Pig Destroyer, Helmet, Full of Hell. Ironically enough, Corey Taylor of Slipknot.
OMG.
As long as it's not CMFT.
Yeah, let's not go there. Sleep, what Epic, Earth.
Most of these bands
like I mentioned
are
earlier
on
with-
that documentary.
with
like Matt Pike's
with
in
Dylan
it.
Carlson, but
Kim Thale.
but then like Sun, like where they would just do noise and I mean so would Earth, but
Just awesome bands.
yeah, it's like in all the genres they inspired, but like and then of course like Mastodon, Neurosis, High on Fire,
Every one of them
Baroness,
is in the documentary.
I Hate God,
Baroness
ISIS.
wasn't. I love Baroness, but they weren't.
Yeah.
They weren't in the documentary.
Man, there was a side project with a singer of, was it I Hate God and Phil Anselmo?
Could be.
I forgot about
Phil's
it.
had a
I
bunch
forgot
of
about
bands.
him.
Yeah, he's
That
had a
sounds
bunch.
right to me
There
though,
was- yeah, I forgot about that project. You
'Cause
just
of it-
reminded me.
because I mean Phil was also in Down, which is fucking
And
awesome.
Super
Pepper
Joint,
Keenan, yeah.
which I saw
Super
Super
Joint
Joint over here
Ritual.
at the Forge.
Yeah.
Dude, Phil was so messed up.
Oh yeah.
But he was still
Still
singing.
doing his
he was
thing,
just
yeah.
like standing there like I shouldn't
That'll be
have had this shot.
that's another
brother.
one.
My neck is killing me.
Pantera deserves an artist spotlight for sure. Tad,
Yeah, so we could
Pantera.
keep going on these.
I mean, you could do Tad, you could do Pantera. I mean, that would be. I mean, obviously their picks coming up, but this week, close to my heart, Melvins. Nothing more to say other than all my love to Dale, Buzz, McDonald, Pincus, everybody that's been associated with the Melvins. They're fucking incredible. I have nothing more to say. My name is Aaron.
Dude, my name's Alex.
And I'm Eddie.
Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and rock on!
Woo!